Ladies and gentlemen, my subscribers, know I haven't been around for a while, but Big Kev of Big Kev's World is back, Jack. And we got a full little lineup here today. Right after this intro, I'll be coming back with some NFL and my boys, the two-tone blue Tennessee Titans.
That's right.
We kicked his ass.
I'm coming for blood. Let's fucking go.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's fucking go. The NFL season is upon us this week. 2024, brand new season. We're going to start off on Thursday. The defending Super Bowl champs, Kansas City, are going to be facing the team that they face in the AFC Championship, the Baltimore Ravens. Well, new look Baltimore Ravens, if they have one of my former boys, Derrick Henry, King Henry. He'll be making his debut with the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday. And then on Friday, first time ever on a Friday, we get a Green Bay Packers, Philadelphia Eagles in Brazil. So a lot of stuff to look forward to for the week. I'm looking forward to the season. New hype, new form, new everything. And if you are an AFC South fan, whether you're a Jackal fan, or whether you're a Texan fan or a Colts fan, doesn't matter. We should be excited about the AFC South because there's so much hype within the AFC South. You know, now we get to the Colts get their quarterback that they drafted last year, Richardson. We get to see what he can do on hopefully for a full season. And you have Trevor Lawrence for the Jags, and then you have C.J. Stroud, who was definitely a diamond in the rough last year, and I thought should have been the number one pick in the draft last year over Bryce Young, but I'm sure Carolina's kicking themselves in the butt for that. However, the biggest thing about this is that Will Levis. Now, I know Will Levis was a second round pick last year for the Titans from the University of Kentucky, the Wildcats. A lot of NFL scouts are considering him the next Josh Allen. I don't want him to be the next Josh Allen because Josh Allen can't get past the AFC Championship. We're not looking for that. You're looking for a quarterback that could get you to the promised land. Is Will Levis that guy? I don't know. I mean, he did a Mayo commercial for some, but he seems a lot from the two practices that I went to this year. He looks a lot more poised. He's taking control of the offense, and he's becoming that vocal leader, which are things that you do look for in a star quarterback. However, my issue with him is his consistency to want to run the football but not slide and not run out of bounds. he needs to be a lot more smart when he comes to that issue because, me playing quarterback in the past, I had that issue too. I didn't want to slide. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to pound the defender that was about to tackle me. And over the years, now being 42, yeah, I paid for it. I feel it today. You want your quarterback around for a long season that we got. So I can understand why Coach Callie, yes, Brian Callahan, the former offensive coordinator of the Houday Cincinnati Bengals for 5 years. That's what we're calling him here. We're calling him Coach Callie. A lot of the players call him Coach Callie. Fans call him Coach Callie. So we're going to call him Coach. I'm going to call him Coach Callie. There's a new excitement in Tennessee because with our general manager last year, Rand Carthon, he didn't have a lot to work with last year. And for 2 years straight, we had the worst offensive line in the NFL. Probably one of the worst offensive line in the NFL. But for 2 years, Derrick Henry still got 1,000 yards rushing. And we had a terrible offensive line. You could put Tom Brady in a Titans uniform. You could put Patrick Mahomes in a Titan uniform, and they'd be running for their lives last year. This is no different. There's no different scenario that you could put into that. But I do feel like there were some games where we were competitive last year that we probably could have won. But Titan Nation, fellow Titan fans, I know a lot of Titan fans were a little upset because we got rid of Mike Vrabel. There was some of these Titan groups that I'm a part of on Facebook. A lot of them were upset that we got rid of Coach Vrabel because in 2021 he won Coach of the Year. So I can understand the people being a little upset, going, "What the are y'all doing? Getting rid of the guy?" I think a lot of it had to do with Coach Vrabel's old school mentality. Run the football down your throat, control the clock, and have a stingy defense. Our former general manager, John Robinson, really messed up this team when you traded your star receiver, A.J. Brown, to the Philadelphia Eagles, and then you draft a corner in Caleb Farley who had injury issues to begin with from Virginia Tech, but then you bring him and he barely plays a down at all. So Rand Carthon's come in and he's pretty much swept what the old regime did. He took that shovel. Now Caleb Farley's released. They traded Elijah Molden to the Los Angeles Chargers. They are pretty much sweeping the rug of anything that's left over from John Robinson. I will always respect Coach Vrabel and what he's done for this organization over the years, his tenure when he was here. Man, I got no disrespect against him at all. None. That old school mentality of control the clock, run the football, stingy defense, that only works, and it worked the first couple of years he was here because Derrick Henry was at his prime. We had a better offensive line, and we had a stingy defense. The only thing is, in the NFL now, the last couple of years, it's all about throwing the football, looking exciting, and just scoring more points. And I feel like the Titans, a lot of people thought were boring, and a lot of people thought they played that 70s, 80s NFL style, which is true, they did. But now I feel like with Brian Callahan, Callie, I mean, I can feel the goosebumps for this season. Woo! Callie coming in. And let's face it though, Cincinnati, when they had Joe Burrow hurt last year, they were still competitive with their second string quarterback in Browning. Brian Callahan's no stranger to quarterbacks. You know, he worked with Matthew Stafford before. He's worked with Peyton Manning in Denver. He's no stranger to that. And we saw a little bit in the preseason of week 3, a little bit of plays that he might be calling. You don't want to show all your stuff in preseason, obviously, but I think it was good because, see, the difference between Vrabel and Callahan is that Vrabel wanted to rest his starters because it was a longer season. I get it. But Callahan played his starters in week 1 and week 3, which keeps them fresh, which keeps them, when you go into the season, you're not like your first game of the season, which we're going to Chicago, facing the Bears, number 1 pick, Caleb Williams. The Bears did a really good offense. The Bears had a pretty good offseason. So we're going to see what happens on week 1. I think the Titans will see more into the week 1 of what we're going to be looking at. J.C. Latham, big boy, he's a beast, comes from Alabama, which was a pro-ready system. Him playing left tackle is actually kind of worked to its advantage so far. We'll see how it does during the season. Getting free agent Lloyd Christianberry as a center was one of the best moves, one of the key moves that they made in the offense. Peter Skorowski got off to a rocky start on his rookie year. You know, he had that surgery with his appendix, and he couldn't keep up the weight. Now he's looking like a monster. And Jeffrey Simmons has said that Skorowski is a diamond in the rough, and I'm waiting to see what Latham and Skorowski do side by side together on that left side. The concerns that I have on the offensive line is the right guard and right tackle. But then again, that's why you bring in one of the best offensive line coaches in the league, Brian Callahan's dad, Bill Callahan, who, as you guys know, was the Raiders coach in the Super Bowl against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So you look at that situation. I think the offensive line is going to be fine. Now, the receiver core, you know, I know D-Hop had some injury just during training camp. Not sure what his status is exactly for week 1, but Calvin Ridley looked pretty good. Tyler Boyd, you bring him in because he knows Coach Callie. He knows Callahan's offense from Cincinnati, what he ran. I'm looking at one person in particular in this receiving core, and this is his do or die. I think in the next couple of weeks is going to be his do or die, and that's Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks has put on some muscle. He looks good in the off season, but then again, though, you could look good in training camp. You can look good in preseason, but it's what you do on the games that count that matters. So I'm looking to see what they're going to do with him. A lot of rumors is that he's still trade bait, and it possibly could be. I think if he struggles and Tyler Boyd plays really well and Calvin Ridley plays well and D-Hop plays well, there probably will not be no room for Treylon Burks. But if Treylon Burks comes out of the woodwork, starts putting in the work, and starts playing the way that we feel like he should have played when he came in for his rookie year, then we could talk about a different story. You know, I know that D-Hop's on his last year of his deal. I'm not sure what they're going to do with that yet exactly, but he has a connection with Will Levis. Saw it last year. And, you know, here's the thing, too. I want to throw this out there. Some of these, like, I don't know if some of you guys use TikTok or not, but I do. And some of the comments, though, some of the Titan fans on there get a lot of shit. A lot of shit for like, oh, you got a stupid, you guys quarterback sucks. D-Hop's washed up. Dude, DeAndre Hopkins is 32 years old and got 1,000-yard receiving last year. How in the is that washed up? And a bad offense and a bad offensive line last year. You tell me, how's that washed up? We'll see. Looks like Will Levis has built some chemistry with. He's building some chemistry with Calvin Ridley. I know that he went to. They all went. He all went on vacation, and he brought the receivers with him, which was smart because you're building that connection. You're building that trust, that foundation that needs to be there. Tajay Spears. I loved him last year. Was a good pickup for the Titans. He could run the football, but he can also catch out the backfield. And then you pair him with Tony Pollard, who is, some Dallas fans may or may not like him, depending on who you talk to. Pollard plays the same kind of style almost, and Pollard was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. So we got a 2-1 punch. I mean, I know some Titan fans are very upset about Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry was one of my favorites too. But it's a business, and business happens. You move on. You got to move on. Derrick Henry put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Excuse me, for this organization. So, as far as I'm concerned, I wish Derrick Henry the best in Baltimore. I really do. Now let's talk about the defense. Getting Snead from Kansas City, who pretty much came out and said he didn't really want to be traded. He didn't think he was going to be traded, but Kansas City traded him anyways. The Titans got a steal, and then by signing him an extension, you got one of the best shutdown corners in the league last year. 2-time Super Bowl winning champ. You're bringing that pedigree into this organization. The Titans have a really good secondary, and them bringing in Quayton Diggs, bringing in Diggs and bringing in Jamal Adams. I know people are going to say, well, Jamal Adams has been hurt. He hasn't been up to that potential that he was when he was with the Jets. But there's a connection between him and our defensive coordinator. And our defensive coordinator, coming from Baltimore as a defensive backs coach, man, I'm telling you, we're gonna look hungry. And my concern going into the season was our middle linebacker position because, Campbell got hurt. I know that we got Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray really hasn't lived up to that potential when he was with the Chargers. He's looking good, though, with the Titans. But we went out there and got another steal. Rand Carthon, I'm telling you, that man cooks, man. He's in that kitchen stirring that pot, bringing in the ingredients to make a really good seasoning soup. And we ended up getting Ernest Jones, who's in the prime of his life, young, still in his rookie year deal, who's won a Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams, captain of the Rams defense last year. So now you pair him with Kenneth Murray in the inside part. The good part is that you got Harold Landry, who was coming off that ACL 2 years ago. He struggled in the beginning of the season last year. He started to find his true form toward the end of the season last year. I'm looking forward to seeing what a healthy Harold Landry can do because we know what a healthy Harold Landry can do. Then on the other side, you got Arden Key, who man, I was worried because for Wilder he had that 6-game suspension this year, but it got overturned. So now it's Titans had a really good draft this year too, and we might have some steals. I'm telling you, this is going to be a different Tennessee Titan team. The one combo that I am looking forward to seeing, Jeffrey Simmons on one side, Javonte Sweat from the University of Texas. I'm going to love to see those two big behemoths in the middle of that front. And I know a lot of offensive lines were double teaming Jeffrey Simmons. Now it's going to be hard to double team Jeffrey Simmons because now you got these two big guys, and then you got Sebastian Day right next to him, who's also from the Rams. So now you have this core, this unit with the Tennessee Titans, and now I find it very weird that they're starting the season with only 4 corners. That's a little odd to me. I'm looking forward to seeing our punter Stonehouse. I know he had that really bad injury against the Colts last year, but he looks like he's back to true form now, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. We still have Nick Folk as the kicker. Things are just looking good. They're making the foundation now on the new Titan Stadium, the new Nissan Stadium is going to be coming, I do believe, in 2027. So that's what they're talking about, 2027. Not that far away, but the keys to the game against the Chicago Bears. You have to make Caleb Williams' life a living hell. Cause disruption. He's a rookie. You make him make mistakes, make him put a lot of pressure on Caleb Williams. That's the thing you have to do with the Chicago Bears. I'm telling you guys, you can smell the air in the NFL, man. It's like I haven't been this hyped for a season in a long time. Now, granted, my issues and my views on the NFL itself still goes as it is because I still do not like Roger Goodell, and I still think referees do give certain teams certain privileges. And there's a lot of unanswered questions. There's some new rules going into effect this year, so we're going to see how that affects things. Because, replay referees are the ones that usually either make or break a game. They can also make or break a team's season, too. So what I'm going to try to do here eventually, before the week starts, is maybe get a couple guys together, go over this season, go over getting certain team guys to come in here to represent their teams, rep their teams up. They can talk about what their schedule is and where they predict where their schedule is going to be. Someone asked me at work yesterday, what do I think the Titans' record's going to be? The one thing is, though, I hate the fact that we got a week 5 bye. But I do like the idea that the NFL is thinking about possibly coming up with 2 bye weeks for a team. And I think that would definitely, considering that you're going to an 18-game season, 18 weeks, or possibly a 19-game week season, which has been in the rumblings for a while. You want to have a little bit of break for these guys. for these warriors, these gladiators that are out there hitting the gridiron and doing all they need to do. So you want to give them a little bit more of a break. So I'm all for that, actually. Do I think it could work? Time will tell. I don't know. We'll see. But getting back to what I was saying, I had a couple coworkers ask me yesterday, like, "Hey, Kev, what do you think the Titans' chances are this season?" And to be honest with you, I look at this schedule the Titans got, and I can understand a little bit of hesitation. Some Titan fans are like, we have a brand new coach, first time ever head coach. Is there going to be mistakes? Possibly so. They may be. There may not be. I don't know. I mean, it could be. There's a lot of the Colts are a good football team when they're healthy. The Jags are run by a good football coach in Doug Peterson, who's a Super Bowl winning coach. And Houston is jacked to the 9. So, yeah, it's going to be one of those things where the AFC South is not going to be a laughing stock anymore in this league. I really, truly believe the AFC South is going to get stronger. And I love that because I want these teams to be competitive. I want these teams to compete, and that's something that we haven't had in a very long time in the AFC South. Honestly, what I can honestly tell you from my heart, my gut's telling me one record. My heart's telling me another. I think the Titans could possibly win 8 games this season. That's more than last year. But it won't be enough to get to the playoffs. I don't expect us to get to the playoffs this year. Even with all the additions that they made during the offseason, even with Coach Cali, even with Bill Callahan as the offensive line coach, even with all the pieces that we have put together so far, the one thing that concerns me about this team is their training staff. It's like the Titans always get some kind of injury during training camp, some big one, and it needs to be addressed, honestly. And I don't know how some Titan fans feel, but to me personally, I feel like that's one thing that needs to be addressed. Because if you don't address it, these injuries are going to keep piling up, and then it's going to hurt us and later on during the season. I fully intend on thinking that I think we're going to win our first game this season. I do think we'll beat the Bears on Sunday. I got that notion. I got that feeling. As long as Will Levis has time to throw the football, and as long as he uses that cannon arm that he's got, and he does got an arm, as long as he reads the defenses better, which what I saw in training camp, he's definitely reading stuff a lot better. I don't see why we can't beat Chicago. But I do think that we're probably going to be a 7 or 8 win team, possibly 9. That's where I'm getting at, because AFC is stacked, man. AFC is tough. You still got the Bills over there. You got the Jets. You got the Texans. You got Baltimore. You got Cincinnati, you still got Cleveland, you still got all these good football teams that are there. So now you have to. It's not as easy in the NFC. Now I'm not knocking the NFC here, guys. I'm just letting y'all know that I'm not knocking them. But the AFC has got a lot more strength, I believe, than the NFC. So It's not going to be an easy road, but then again, though, nothing in life is easy. So you have to dig and fight. And I can tell you the Titans are they look prepared. The culture is changing. There's a lot of optimistic in this organization. And even though you got all these naysayers, like, who's that guy on Fox Sports? Oh, yeah. Nick Wright, who thinks we're going to be garbage. So is Colin Hurd, or whatever the jabroni's name is. And, you know, when we signed Brian Callahan, I remember Skip Bayless, Keyshawn Johnson, and Richard Sherman coming on there talking about how bad of a mistake we made and that we didn't give this person a chance or that person a chance, that Brian Callahan's a first-time head coach. But so were the other candidates that were out there. They were going to be first-time head coaches. I'm telling you, the Titans don't get that respect. And I know respect is earned. Respect is not just handed to you. But I can tell you right now, if Will Levis was drafted by another NFL team, like if they were drafted by the Colts, and we got Richardson, and he was drafted by the Colts, they would talk about how great Will Levis is, how he fits the Colts. The Colts are great. And I believe that the Titans use that as energy. And they need to use that as energy because they need to use that as a driving force. Because you got the media over here saying this, you got certain Titan fans saying this, you got other fans saying this, and it's like, let them talk. Because no matter what you say, no matter what you do, I really feel like, and I told my wife this the other day, and I told one of my best buddies this. I feel like the Tennessee Titans are going to surprise us this year. I really, truly believe that. Now, I'm one of those people, if I come back mid-season and I know that it's wrong, I will take the crow and I will tell you that I'm wrong. I ain't afraid to admit if I'm wrong. Most people are, but I'm not. I ain't afraid to admit I'm wrong because I'm a man. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes we make mistakes, sometimes we correct them. But I'm looking forward to seeing what this new offense can do. Now, Coach Callie said that we are still going to run the football. So I'm going to see whether or not, I think they're going to alternate between Pollard and they're going to alternate between Spears. The tight ends are looking pretty good too this season as well during the off season. So optimism is optimistic all around in this. I like the culture that Rank Harthon is trying to build to this organization. He was a really good scouts guy for San Francisco. And look how San Francisco is. That's a team right there that you can look at. And yeah, I mean, I know some people say, well, they lost 2 Super Bowls against the Chiefs. Well, look at that organization. When Rank Harthon was the guy that was the personnel and he was the one that was a scouts guy for the 49ers, especially for the draft, look at some of the players they got on that team. And being a former NFL player himself and Rank Harthon, he knows what we need. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they do, whatever kind of moves they may make. We still got a good enough chunk of cash in the cap that we didn't use. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do. I think if the offensive line does what it's supposed to do and Will Levis shows up, because to be honest with you, you have to look at it like this. There's no excuse now. I mean, sure, we can do a little bit better with the offensive line on the right side of the football. But that's why you bring in, like I said, you bring in one of the best offensive line coaches in the league, and Bill Callahan. You fix that correction. Now, you got all these weapons now for Will Levis. There should be no reason why he cannot succeed in the NFL. There ain't no reason why he can't have a good NFL season. If he stays healthy, he plays smart, and stays healthy, I think that we can see a really good outlook of what the Titans' future is going to look like. And yeah, they're in rebuild mode. I know some people are going to say that they're in rebuild mode, and technically they are, but technically they aren't. But they still got pieces, and they still kept some pieces. Although NFL fans, tell me in the comments what you think, how you guys feel about the Tennessee Titans. Some of you, it could be positive, it could be negative. I'm one of those people that welcomes both. And let me know in the comments below, some of you who do NFL, sports talks and stuff like that, if you want to come on and join this big NFL thing I'm going to be working on, where we're going to be talking about our team schedules and what we think is going to be a win or a loss, and predicting our schedule record, if our team's going to make the playoffs, if it's going to make or not. So I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys later on. Peace and love, everybody out there. Hope it's September, close to spooky season. Everybody knows I love my spooky season. So I end this video with this comment. Be kind to one another, because you never know what the other person's going through. They don't know what you're going through or what you went through. So keep people in mind. And remember, we're all brothers and sisters from different mothers, different fathers. At the end of the day, you're a human being.